the only local news station with nonstop news.
Good morning. Nonstop News starts right now. We are the only station that is commercial free for the next 15 minutes. We have you covered this morning, including a look at traffic with Joy and, of course, a look at your weather with Jeannette. Good morning, Jeannette.
Good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Hey, it is almost Friday, but first we have to get through today. And we're possibly looking at the hottest day we've had in nearly 2 months. This morning, temperatures are not too bad. Here's a live look outside. Want to point out that along and east of I-35 from San Antonio to Gonzales, we do have the cloud cover, but farther to the north and west, less clouds. This is a perfect example that at night and in the early morning before sunrise, the cloud cover does make it warmer. However, less clouds, it's cooler. 73 with just a few clouds in Kerrville, 72 under a clear sky in Uvalde. Here in San Antonio and in Gonzales, it is cloudy, 78 degrees. That ridge of high pressure, that heat dome, is drifting a little farther to the west. As a result, we should have a better chance of reaching 100 or 101 this afternoon. Then that's going to start to move away later tomorrow into Saturday. That will open up the door for some Gulf moisture to move in as we track a tropical disturbance. This could bring us some rainfall along with some cooler temperatures just in time for the weekend. If you have outdoor plans, keep it right here. In about 10 minutes, we'll take a look at the rain chances for the weekend ahead.
Okay, I know it probably doesn't look like it when you look at the map here behind me. I-35 is actually seeing some improvements. In fact, a really rapid improvement. So we had gotten up to a 45-minute delay in those northbound lanes as you were approaching Judson. And that was because of some construction closures coupled with a crash in that same area. Now we are down to a 10 to 15-minute delay. And as photojournalist David Mendoza let us know, that is because that is all cleared out. He's live right now from RoadCam, and he is now on the other side of all of that. David, good morning.
Hello and good morning. Right now I'm on 35 South and Eisenhower. Our lanes are wide open in the southbound lanes. The northbound lanes of 35 are still looking pretty crowded, although that delay is shrinking by the minute. Right now I'm headed into downtown to give you a closer look at the traffic down there. I'll keep you updated. Back to you for now.
All right, David, thank you. I have a theory that David is good luck because every time he gets to the scene of something, it clears. So if you ever stuck in traffic, just give David Mendoza a call. That's what I do. All right, live look here from the same area. This is the northbound lanes. A lot more movement than what we saw earlier in the morning. Meanwhile, kind of the opposite is happening downtown. Up to a 10-minute delay now in the northbound lanes of I-35 near South Alamo Street. That is because of that ongoing construction closure. We knew this was going to happen. I told you about it all morning, and we've been seeing it every day for the past couple of weeks as well. We'll continue to check in, though, right here with your on-time traffic.
All right, thank you, Joy. New this morning, a woman is in critical condition after being attacked by her pit bull on the north side. This happened at an apartment complex on Patricia Drive near West Avenue around 11 p.m. Wednesday. Police say a friend was visiting the woman when the pit bull started to be too aggressive. That's when the woman tried to put the dog out on the balcony, but it turned on her and attacked. This morning, we're working to learn more about a deadly shooting on the city's northwest side. Police say a man and a woman went to meet up with each other yesterday afternoon after arranging a deal through the app OfferUp. But things took a turn. An argument broke up and multiple people opened fire. One man believed to be in his 20s was shot and then driven to Babcock and Callahan Roads, where he died. Right now, police haven't said who they're looking for or what exactly led up to the shooting. This morning, we're still working on a story we first brought you as a breaking news story at 10. A child taken to the hospital after possibly drowning in a pool. The emergency call came from an apartment complex on the southeast side along Pecan Valley. At this time, we have limited information as to the age of the child, if the child was being supervised, and their condition. Of course, as we learn more about it, we'll let you know on air and online at news4sa.com. He spent hours in a tree to avoid deportation, and today, the man from Guatemala will soon learn his fate in federal court. News 4 San Antonio's Christina De Leon has more on the sentencing hearing later this morning. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Marissa. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, he'll learn his fate in a few hours from a federal judge who will decide what will happen to Raul Ical who waited several hours in a tree. Let's go to the video here. It was in late April. You may remember this video. A lot of you watched it on Facebook. After authorities say El Gal ran from a vehicle during a traffic stop, several agencies were involved in the operation to get him back into custody, including the Department of Homeland Security. They reported that the 29-year-old entered into the U.S. unlawfully back in 2013 and was deported back to Guatemala less than a month later. But records also show he was arrested last year on a DWI charge. He spent more than 6 hours in a tree hiding out off South Navidad and Hazel Streets to evade arrest and deportation back to Guatemala. Now, negotiators worked for hours to persuade him down before ultimately he peacefully surrendered. But now he's in custody, and this morning a federal judge will sentence him in court to figure out what happens to him next. And of course, we will be there and let you know what happens this morning. Around 9:30 is when he's expected to be in front of that judge. Reporting live, I'm Cristina De Leon. We will send it back to you.
Thank you, Christina. What began as a chilling confession from a father to his son is now a murder charge. This is video of 49-year-old Charles Bird being booked into the Bexar County Jail on Wednesday. Bird was charged with the murder of his wife, Angela Bird. Her decomposing remains wrapped in plastic and carpet were found inside their home in far south Bexar County. Investigators say Bird confessed to strangling and biting her face during a jealous fit of rage. Bird had previously been arrested on charges of tampering with evidence and tampering with a human corpse. He remains in custody on a $650,000 bond. We are learning new details this morning about what went wrong during the deadly July 4th flooding in the Hill Country. A state hearing is shedding light on the response and what needs to improve moving forward. A special committee of Texas lawmakers met in Austin to review how the state responded to the flooding emergency. Leaders testified about what was done ahead of time and what could have been handled better. Nim Kidd, the state's top emergency management official, said crews were already in place before the storm hit, but communication on the ground was a major issue.
When I was in the field as a lieutenant on the technical rescue team, and I had my radio with me and I asked to be able to talk to them on theirs. But their San Antonio radio doesn't work in that footprint. So they had some really cheap Chinese radios that they were talking to each other on. We're better than that.
Chief Kidd calls for a corrective form of action on communication and warnings for all hazards. Flood victims in Hunt are getting some much needed relief while they continue waiting on help from FEMA. A Florida-based nonprofit global empowerment mission has been traveling through the Hill Country offering a lifeline to families hit hardest. Yesterday, they handed out $1,000 checks to each family in need. A flood victim says the support is very much appreciated.
We lost our home, our business, and our truck. My husband and myself and our 2 dogs survived. We climbed out a window. In 4 minutes, we had 4 feet of water in our house. Help is coming to us from every direction, and we're so grateful and we're so blessed.
Others told us that they're thankful to be part of a community that's very supported by the kindness and generosity of many of those around the country.
Emma Allen at the live desk. In just a few hours, the man accused of attempting to assassinate the president last year will return to court today. Ryan Ruth will appear before a judge to explain why he doesn't want his court-appointed lawyers to represent him in the case. During a hearing earlier this month, Ruth requested to represent himself. The judge did not make a decision on that, but is expected to issue a written order soon. Ruth's trial is expected to start on September 8th. Today, he's just in court. The judge told him there will be no delay on that. That is the latest from the live desk.
Thank you, Emma. Just a month into her term, San Antonio Mayor Jeannette Ortiz-Jones is already facing resistance from some city council members. A new process she introduced is not sitting well with them. Mayor Ortiz wants council members to send their proposals through the city's administrative office instead of presenting them directly to the full council. District 10 Councilman Mark White believes no good will come of this.
Mayor has proposed changes that we believe would slow the process and would take the ability to put forth these policy solutions away from members of council.
Council members have asked the mayor to schedule a special council meeting by August 15 to discuss and vote on the proposed changes. No word yet on whether that will happen. We're learning the federal government plans to build the nation's largest immigration detention center right here in Texas. It will be at Fort Bliss in El Paso and will have the capacity for about 5,000 beds. A Virginia-based company has already been awarded more than $200 million to build and run it. The facility is expected to open by September 2027. Well, happening now, San Antonio International Airport has launched a new initiative called SAT Cares. This is aimed at helping families impacted by the July 4th flooding. And News 4 San Antonio's Tawny Davis is live in the Content Center with how you can get involved. Good morning, Tawny.
Good morning. Not only was this program created to support the families impacted by the devastating Hill Country flooding, but it aims to help in future emergency situations. The SAT team is working alongside Animal Care Services and the San Antonio Food Bank to collect donations for both families and pets. Jesus Saenz, director of airports in San Antonio, says many members of SAT asked how they can support the victims in Central Texas, so they decided to give back with their time and resources. Volunteers from ACS will be in both airport terminals to collect donations to support local shelter pets. Large red barrels from the San Antonio Food Bank will be placed for people to drop off items, and some of the most wanted items include peanut butter, mac and cheese, canned lunch meats, baby food, and diapers. The airport will be accepting donations starting today into tomorrow, and there will also be an opportunity next week on July 31st and August 1st. Both weeks will be from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Reporting live in the Content Center, I'm Tawny Davis. Back to you.
Now your certified most accurate 4-zone weather with meteorologist Jeannette.
So you say it's going to be hot, but there might be some relief.
Yes, this weekend.
Yay.
Some rain possible. Okay. Not expecting a washout. However, there will be some spots that could pick up some pockets of heavy rainfall.
A cool down. A little bit of cool down.
And with the rain, yeah, temperature should be coming down quite a bit Saturday. But let's talk about it. Here's what to expect. 100-degree day likely today. We came close the past couple days. 99 officially at the airport Tuesday and Wednesday. Last time we hit 100 degrees in San Antonio was May 20th. So it's been a couple months. Now we are tracking a tropical disturbance in the Gulf. Right now it's over the northern Gulf. That will continue to move off towards the west. It'll come towards the Texas coast tomorrow, and then it looks like it'll be moving inland across Texas on Saturday. That's the weather maker that does bring rain this weekend. Again, not a complete washout, but you may need a plan B if you are planning a party outdoors, maybe a pool party this weekend. Highs today. This is the bigger story for today is the high heat. Upper 90s to near 100 here in San Antonio. Will likely get up to 100 or up to 101. Heat index temperatures up to about 102 here in San Antonio. It is a little humid this morning, but this afternoon with that upper level ridge, the heat dome nudging a little farther to the west, we should get some drier air to mix down to the surface. So heat index temperatures, although on the high side, below heat advisory criteria and not quite as high as yesterday. Some clouds to start, and we'll have clouds here until mid-morning. Then notice as we get that drier air, skies gradually clear out. At noon, mostly sunny, 91. This afternoon, lots of sunshine. Winds from the south near 10 miles an hour. Clouds and radar picture, no weather-related problems this morning. Again, we're on the western edge of that heat dome that's sitting across the lower Mississippi River Valley. Starting to see more showers and storms developing across the northern Gulf, pretty much staying over open water there. Now this is associated with that tropical disturbance. Still a very low chance of tropical development. That is the development zone. It'll gradually move off towards the west, but notice how it's going to get closer to the Texas coast later tomorrow. Then it moves across South Texas Saturday. And Saturday in the afternoon is when I expect the rainfall here in our viewing area. Tomorrow in the morning, it looks mostly clear. Then the cloud cover will increase and pushing farther to the west. Just an isolated shower or two tomorrow afternoon in the eastern zone. But Saturday in the afternoon especially, we'll see, I do believe, some isolated to scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm. So the spots that do see the rain could have some heavy downpours. That 30% rain chance in San Antonio is Saturday in the afternoon, and then just an isolated shower possible on Sunday. Make sure you have that 4-zone weather app so you can keep an eye on radar if you have outdoor plans this weekend. 91, the forecast high here on Saturday.
A live look at downtown I-35 northbound, still shut down, and that is starting to slow us down this morning. We are seeing about a 10-minute delay as you're approaching that closure. It's going to be the northbound lanes near South Alamo Street. That is the only construction closure that we are left with this morning. If you remember, we had big delays on the northeast side along I-35. Those have since cleared out now that the crash and the construction closures have reopened. Photojournalist David Mendoza was driving through that area earlier, and now he joins us live from Road Cam. I was about to say Sky 4. He's not in Sky 4 today, unfortunately. David, I see that you have hit another road bump here.
Hey, good morning. So yes, 35 north, just past 90 in downtown to look at these construction closures. I have good news. It's not as bad as it has been earlier in the week. The rest of the city is looking pretty okay for 7 o'clock. I'll leave you with that. Drive safe and have a fantastic Thursday. Back to you, Joy.
I will take that, David. Thank you. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful Thursday. That's the latest with your on-time traffic.
All right, well, a quick check of the weather.
Well, up to 100, maybe as high as 101. It's National Tequila Day, but I don't recommend drinking too much tequila because that dehydrates